that you could possibly want for.
Hey,
Thank y'all
tonight,
so much.
tonight, whatever's in our grasp, we're taking. All right. I want you
Yes.
guys to reach out. I want you to grab firmly with both hands
Yes.
this immaculate dub. Okay. I
Okay.
want you guys to give it everything you possibly can. We even get a little bit of camera action here. Both Leroy and a DPS known as Demoy or Become Based, ready to give these hands. Looking fantastic. Man's got the pick in the hair. I got my pick on my desk right here too. You understand? You understand
Yes,
that this University of
sir.
Hartford team is in fact ready for the game tonight. However, we do have to go back to introductions and getting this stream rolling. Thank you guys so much for joining us, giving us a little live action into the mentality of everything going on. Thank you so much, Leroy. Thank you so much, Demoy. We will be getting back into the action here as the game should be starting up relatively soon. I do see that everybody is in match. I think we might be waiting on a couple stragglers and just some last second things to make sure that we have everything ready and perfect to go. But yeah, we're going to be looking towards a really amazing match. Like we already said, we have two undefeated teams here in the end. 8-0 and 8-0. The large difference maker being map specific differential. And that map differential speaks to a lot of things, but Adam, to you, what do you think speaks what do you think it speaks to the most? Who do you see as the strongest contender on this Toronto team? That's giving them these dubs so easily handed.
So, I would say first I'm trying to do a bunch of stuff at once right now. Do I have Alex and Muga on red spec? Sorry. So I would say they're the person right there at the top, Nurshier.
I don't have any VOD. Or
I will get that to you shortly. He has been a dominant player. For I'm trying to swap everything around, get us ready to go into the match. He's played really well in their matches coming up to this point, as well as Z Zenith. He's really kind of a wild card pick from what I've seen in their matches up to this point. So I'd say those might be two of the biggest players to watch out for.
Absolutely, that's going to be very interesting, especially with some off-meta picks. As currently in the situation of Overwatch as a game, we have an interesting meta right now. Hog is very popular, but the linchpin of this meta right now is easily going to be the Sojourn.
Nope.
So talk to me. Is this Zenith character? Is he the Sojourn player for this University of Toronto team?
Actually, I don't believe so. I think that would be their other DPS player. Which something I'm gonna have to ask in a second.
Yeah, to make sure that everyone's properly ordered and whatnot. But absolutely, as I let my co-host here continue with the producing, not an enviable position to be in, to both try and produce, host this game, as well as be an on-screen talent. Very difficult, but I'll try and lighten the load a little bit as I talk about the Sojourn meta at the current position. The Sojourn meta currently does revolve around the fact that Sojourn is so strong with her one-shot ability as well as her slow field. And when it comes to her mobility out of her left shift, you do have the ability to still go Winston, something that the University of Hartford team is relatively renowned for within this space, because of the fact that oftentimes other people will be playing Hog or Orisa, characters designed to specifically cooldown match other characters, whereas with Winston, you don't have a lot of abilities in general, but you do have a lot of mobility, the ability to create space, and chase kills very quickly that Sojourn lends that health to. So regardless of what tank we see tonight, we are very likely going to see Sojourn on both teams. So it is largely going to come down to DPS fighting DPS and seeing which one comes out on top. And it will be very interesting to find out whether or not the University of Hartford is able to recognize the importance of that duel and help out as best as possible, not only in analyzing who that Sojourn is on the other team, how they play, whether or not they have a pocket or a close-by support at all times. All of these factors are going to come to birth throughout this match and will be paramount for the University of Hartford to solve throughout it so that they have the upper hand in this best-of-5 series. That's another thing. It's going to be a best-of-5. So instead of having the range of 7 maps, like typical grand finals. This one will be similar to all the other matches that both teams have easily won throughout the entirety of this this season so far. We'll have to see which one is going to come out ahead here, as University of Hartford is getting closer and closer to starting off this match. I believe we have Lijiang Tower as our first map.
Alright, they requested blue, which is going to mean I have to swap every single player to spectate the opposite team that they were just on. But it's not hard, just time consuming. Did I get them all? It seems I did.
Oh, also, can I turn on my camera now?
Yeah. I might.
Thank you.
I might. Oh, are you gonna do that thing?
Yeah, sure.
Go for it. I might do like mid-round interviews, but.
Yeah, I would love that. Just mid-round in general, if you just want to turn on the cameras and talk about things.
Exactly. All right. I'm gonna do that thing where I prepare for that thing.
Just let me know when the music's playing.
Oh, that doesn't work. Trash. Trust. It's gonna be fun. Also, thanks for the follow. Just trust.
Trusting?
Shoot. I have to minimize. I didn't open it. I wasn't prepared. Don't worry, it's gonna be fun. Trust. Keep trusting. keep trusting.
Oh, trusting.
All right. Sound's going.
Good.
Wait. Full screen. Transition. All right, go, quick. Yo, show the flag.
Let's go on fun!
All right, back to your regularly scheduled program. That was good fun. I hope they didn't say like RR. Let's go in.
No, definitely.
Wait. Can we be the Smurfs, please? Air Culver Fan Club. Shit. What do they want? You. Wait. What do they want? Team Hortons?
Oh, it's like a play on Timmy Hortons.
I guess. Nobody said no. Sounds good. Alright. Yes, for the Smurfs. Official team names in the books. Only 20 minutes behind schedule. I think the stream is, everything is set on my end, I think. So I'm going to go fill up my water and then start the lobby when they're ready.
Sounds good, and I will entertain
Just
in the
then.
meantime. Shout out to twitch.tv/airculver for putting on this production, helping out the university team here as best as you possibly can. Obviously, twitch.tv/airculver. Check us out when you can. Typically, we would be doing these every single Tuesday and Thursday during season. We have our calls! We have our calls, by the way. As this production is put on by two people, one of which does not help whatsoever. But we got all the way here. Thank you all so much for the support, whether or not you're watching on YouTube, on Twitch, wherever you're watching. Thank you so much. Come and join the stream. And let's get excited for this incredible match between the University of Hartford, i.e. the Smurfs, versus the University of Toronto Silver, i.e. Team Hortons, as we head into this first of best-of-5 match between the two finalists of NACE Star League. And I could not be possibly more excited right now.
I couldn't agree more. We've got some hype getting up in the chat. We've got Ultrabot, we've got Spy Guy, we've got Aegis League Unlimited, we've got Miles with a Y, we've got Trill, huh?
He gets there. He gets there.
we get there. We got Alex Dial, and oh, could you do me a favor and make a post in the UHart Discord?
Oh, the OG?
Yeah. Or perhaps actually tell Helen to post in a place she has perms to post in, like the broadcast channel or something. Hey, yo, we got Hamster Power in the chat as well. Welcome everyone to an exciting day. Now, let's do a quick name check. We've got, Rissa coming out. Looks like Nershir P has been called. Cringe.
I would go with my choice to pronounce that name would be Nature. I know that it looks incredibly odd to pronounce that Nature, but I think pronouncing it any other way would be wild. It's either Nature or Nersh. Oh, actually, it could be Nashir.
Going in. I'll go with Nashir. Nashir. Zenith, Emil, the Invader, Roast Chicken, and then for the side of Hartford, we've got the tried and true lineup: Super Vader, Become Based, Nift, Orimuru, and Blackout.
Absolutely, and we're gonna be starting off on Control Center here.
Gonna go straight into the Super Vader Winston POV. Pokemon recognizes they have the Orisa, and they also have Z Zenith playing the Junkrat, which is going to be an easy target to run down, and just like that, he gets absolutely blown to pieces. Although Blackout does fall in a trade.
Absolutely, and the Winston not getting too aggressive here, but still managing to zone that Orisa away from everybody else. The bubble comes out, and that's absolutely huge for the positioning, but Super Vader does go down, Become Base being able to trade one inside of White Room. They have Toronto looking around here as Nift is still alive with a charged rail, misses the shot, it backs up a little bit, giving that space, as the University of Toronto has already taken the point here and is inching up points. The thing that's really important to watch here is going to be the tank matchup between this Orisa and between this Winston.
Yeah. Big difference based on playstyle. The Winston obviously benefits a little more from a fast dive style engage, whereas the Orisa can brawl and play at a distance a little better. And we see Z Zenith getting an early kill on Orimuru, and that's a critical death for the side of Hartford. But Come Base, though, gets the trade onto Z Zenith. We see Hartford trying to play aggressive and turn this fight around. Suzu is forced from the Kiriko, but again, Super Vader does fall. Seems to be a 4v3 for the side of Hartford. Ultimates come out. Orimuru falling again by the hands of the Orisa. Reaper comes back for the side of Hartford, putting shots in. Z Zenith just doing what he can to hold this Nift on his own. Looks like it's going to be another reset for the side of the University of Hartford.
Yeah, they're playing incredibly slow here, which is odd compared to the style that they have with the tank in Winston. Especially compared to the more brawly nature of that Orisa. They definitely have to keep in mind their play style and how to play it most optimally. As the Kiriko ult does come out on the side of University of Toronto, the Blossom to try and bait it out, or at least push them back, and the Beat pushing incredibly deep into the University of Hartford's backline here. Incredible headshot from Nift, however, onto Roast Chicken, and since no other deaths going down, a tire does come out from the side, but the University of Hartford only loses one. Still an even fight, but the positioning is very perilous as Zenith finds another. Super Vader managing to prime to the backline and kill their Sojourn. That's incredible. Completely even, and Super Vader still up, manages to find another. That's going to be a beat from Blackout. Great point presence right now as the Orisa goes for a mini, and at 99%, the University of Hartford is able to cap, forcing the Orisa back out. But the Orisa didn't die a single time in that fight. That may be the way in which University of Hartford needs to win this, but they're doing it incredibly slowly so far.
It was a great fight for the side of Hartford, and went a little quiet during that, doing some production. The names were on the wrong sides, but it's all fixed now. Now we see Nift on this great off angle. They push in quickly with the Kitsune Rush, forces them all the way back towards their, almost back towards their spawn. No ultimates yet for the side of Toronto. No more for the side of Hartford anymore either. But Toronto is coming up on the Orisa ultimate and the Kitsune Rush. The ultimate comes out. Oh, and he finds two. That might just be the end here. The Rush comes out just to finish it up. We see the Winston and the Kiriko, last two alive. Now Winston on his own, close to his ultimate, got to 90, but not enough. And Cap's going to come through as the University of Toronto takes map number 1 here on Lijiang Tower, or round 1 on Lijiang Tower.
Absolutely, and it's most interesting to watch this tank matchup, like we said earlier. The University of Hartford having a lot of talks previously about whether or not they were going to run the Winston, the Orisa, or the Hog, especially due to the prolific nature of Hog within the Overwatch ranked meta right now. Definitely was a lot of thoughts coming out. Orisa was thought to be a very strong counter to that. But as we can see, Orisa in general right now doing a great job of brawling. Every time they go deep into the backline, simply walking forward using 1 to 2 abilities to take pretty much no damage, enter the backline, and use their ultimates to peak perfection, actually. There's been 4 kills already out of that Terror Surge, something that a lot of people scoffed at as a pretty much pointless ultimate at the beginning here. But we are going to see a swap here from Nashir over to the Hog when it comes to Gardens.
I'm curious to see how this works. I think it's going to find a lot of value. Super Vader has been struggling keeping himself alive for a lot of that first round, but doesn't find the hook, and Hartford's in a pretty decent health advantage to start this off.
Absolutely, but their positional advantage, they're playing a little tepid. Very scared right now as they keep in this middle ground, and that Hog just walks up, melees, and kills that that Winston on the side of the University of Hartford. The fight is popping off here, but University of Hartford having a little bit of position on the point. This NIF 1v1 goes south, sadly, as Zenith comes in to back him up on the side of University of Toronto. And yeah, that's going to be another kill. Base managed to find one other, and with no point flip right now, University of Hartford might as well die. But that is going to be a first fight win for the side of University of Toronto.
And we see, as we talked about, Super Vader opts to swap over to the Orisa. And I'm curious to see how this works out. We haven't seen too much of the Orisa based on the meta to this point. Oh, but Nashir finds the hook onto the Kiriko of Hartford, and now they're forced to just wait for the respawn.
Yeah, and Nashir, a very, very good tank player, regardless of what rank they are currently. They used to be incredibly well placed when it came to Overwatch 1, and that tempo play, incredibly important. But as we talk about tempo, Nift pops the overclock here, able to slightly negate this push of the gate. However, another is traded out as the Hog uses ultimate as well. That Sojourn spot incredibly low, but they do find the picks, and that's University of Toronto cleaning up a pretty difficult fight there.
Oh no,
a lot of ultimates used on both sides.
Okay, managed to keep himself safe. Almost actually finds his Reaper here. Looks like they're going to get the health back.
Kill.
But, you know, forces out good cooldowns for no cost to himself. Now, next fight, 50% already on the board for the University of Toronto. Reaper looking to get aggressive. Doesn't have his ultimate. Oh, and he just kind of feeds, I'll be honest, but gives the one-man advantage to the side of Hartford. And now trying to just make it work from here. Looking to follow up on kills. Lucio just stalling this out. Can't find the shots, but Become Based is there to clean it up. And that was a great fight. One ultimate used for the side of Hartford to the sound barrier in exchange. And both, Overclock and Kitsune Rush are low on cooldown. And Nashir opts to swap over to the Zarya.
Oh, that can be incredibly big for this University team, for Hartford.
I know Zarya may have a bit of a favor in the matchup, but I think Orisa is still very strong.
Absolutely, and with the Terror Surge online, they should be walking in here, popping it, looping them all up in one central location, popping it
Oh!
early. Great spear on the side of Super Vader, able to completely negate that ultimate from their Reaper, and then a follow-up ult from Become Based, finding Zenith, putting him down in the ground with only 2 left. That was a great play from the University of Hartford, repelling a very aggressive attack on the side of Toronto. Very well played by Become Based as well as Super Vader there with a clutch spear. That was incredible. That
was a very expensive fight for the side of Hartford. We see now the only ultimate they're going to have online is the Overclock for the side for Nift. Whereas an Overclock and a Kitsune Rush and close to a Graviton Surge are going to be ready for the University of Toronto. I think if Toronto plays this too quickly, they won't be able to get their Gravitron online. But on the opposite end, if they don't play fast enough, they might not get another fight. But as I'm talking, Nashir almost builds up the Grav entirely. Oh, but he gets taken out before he can find anything with it. Oh, Blackout finds the kill onto Zarya. Become Based finds 2. And Hartford now up to 80%. This is looking bad for the University of Toronto
Oh, and
here.
these are some late stagger kills as the Kiriko goes down last second with 90 seconds on the point objective here. Only 10 to remain. The grab is going to come back, but oh my lord.
Now, Nift just going in. The grab comes out, but it's not going to matter. They have one player on touch, on the point. May brought dangerously low and taken out by Become Based. Now it's just the Zari and Kiriko as Hartford bring this to a tied map going into Lijiang Night Market for our finale here.
And that is a huge come on Hartford from me, as that was an incredible map to watch. Definitely a very well paced from the University of Hartford. I definitely helped out quite a lot to have that Orisa up against the Hog, that swap coming out immediately as the RPS or rock paper scissors meta. Definitely is also a huge thing to talk about. Not only is Sojourn incredibly important, but also which tank you go in response to the enemy tank is incredibly important as well. As on the side of University of Toronto, we're going to see an oldie but a classic here. Sorry, never mind. We might be seeing an unironic Doomfist in 2022?
An unironic Doomfist coming out from the side of Nashir. I'm curious to see how this plays out. Oh, Orimaru finds Emil before the fight even begins! How does that happen? Now Super Vader free to just jump aggressively. The Doom doing what he can, trying to punch, but they don't have that Reaper. The Reaper is really what forces the Winston in this meta composition to play carefully. And, oh, Roast Chicken boops Blackout off the map. The Invader finds one too.
Finds another.
It's just Lucio on point, but this is falling apart for Hartford.
And Emil comes back as, yeah, the Hartford has no heals right now. Just a Reaper and a Winston up. The Reaper's able to clutch one, but at low HP, they have to play incredibly passive. As the Lucio does come back, but their job is going to have to be to heal here. Not exactly chasing for kills or anything, but that Doomfist is incredibly low. The Lucio goes down immediately. The Empowered Punch is available, but at 1 HP, he should be an easy target to pick off. The University of Hartford should be able to clean up this sloppy fight, but with no progress on the board yet. Oh, there it goes. The point does flip late in that fight, providing Hartford with a couple extra seconds of point cap there, but a little bit of a sloppy fight that they do manage to clean up. That was a great rollout, I imagine, from Blackout to be able to get back fast enough to ally his team there.
Now we see Nashir swapping over to the Roadhog and Z Zenith on this Reaper pick. And Z Zenith takes out Orimaru, just overstaying his welcome by a couple seconds too much. Now with low healing,
speed to hook.
No healing for Super Vader, he's just gonna fall. And I think that's pretty much just gonna be it. They're gonna stall for as long as they can. Reaper teleports back on just to, you know, get in a couple extra seconds, but I can't imagine he finds too much more.
Yeah, extra seconds, extra damage, all that can be asked for right here. As yeah, this team, the University of Toronto, looks incredibly well paced. When they're entering and engaging on fights, they are going incredibly fast. They're not second guessing themselves, and it definitely comes from the head of the snake here, being Nashir, doing a fantastic job on whatever tank he's on to be able to very properly and very well place his aggression. As a hook does come out and doesn't get anything, as a primal goes to the backline.
Super Vader brought extremely low. Oh, they all managed to stay alive. No deaths have been found yet for either team.
Super Vader does not get the beat.
Ultimates coming out from everyone right now. That's such an expensive fight from both sides, and I expect Super Vader is just going to opt to swap over to the Orisa right now. He might wait a second to get some healing from his teammates, but no, it doesn't even cross his mind. Goes to Orisa just to help shut down this Roadhog. And it's a tie game based on like point control, but Hartford has a significant ult advantage coming into this next fight. Oh, and a player advantage as they just absolutely shut down Nashir. But this Roadhog in their backline gets taken out immediately. Emil pulls out the overclock, finds a couple body shots, finds a headshot onto the Orisa, another body onto the Lucio, but it's not enough to find any kills. As
I'm sorry, the better Sojourn pulled up. I'm sorry.
Nif just said, "Hey yo, let me show you how to get a right-click kill."
Getting achievements every possible opportunity that they have, and you see there at the beginning of the fight, the Orisa gets hooked in, and then immediately the Hog dies. We're talking about so many ultimate and cooldown counters for this Hog on Orisa.
Hartford didn't use an ultimate in that fight. They still have the Kitsune Rush and the Death Blossom here, and I'm expecting Become Base to use it sometime during the mid-fight for a tempo. Reaper Wraith forced out.
Oh, as this Toronto team's getting incredibly deep, however, the ultimate for this Reaper still online here, in a good position to hit it, but gets flipped instead by Nashir. The overclock coming in by Nift, and Super Vader using the Terra Surge as well. Rather expensive, but it seems to be working out as they're only down 1 right now.
Oh, he's won!
The Kiriko gate does come out. Nift managing to stay alive. Super Vader finding another. But Nashir with the absolute evisceration when it comes to that gate. With
but they're not able to touch!
Oh my!
And
that's going to be dispersed, aka the University of Hartford taking their first map, and the first map down for the University of Toronto all season. That was a C9.
Outstanding play by the University of Hartford, recognizing the point time was getting extremely low, and if they can play fast and aggressive, just deny any chance for a recontest. And that's exactly what happened. The University of Toronto not able to touch the point, and Hartford takes map 1. Outstanding play by the side of Hartford.
Already doing more than they've ever done before. This University of Hartford team manages to take a map off of the undefeated, unmap-dropping Golden Stage University of Toronto, giving us already a certified Hood Classic. And yeah, it is infantilizing. Sorry, it is encapturing my heart right now to watch the University of Hartford team do incredibly well, and especially all the talks that they've had throughout the week about meta. It's really interesting to watch this Hog versus Orisa matchup, especially in the counter matchup in which the enemy team, Nashir, went Orisa against a Winston. It's very interesting to see how the University of Hartford is dealing with that so far, and it seems like Super Vader is doing a pretty fine job of dealing with the Hog, or at least mitigating them enough to allow for Nift to pop off on that Sojourn roll, and that's exactly what we saw in that first Lijiang, which does in fact go on the side to the University of Hartford. And that is incredible to see. Very, very enjoyable. And warms the cockles of this here caster.
Cockles are in fact warm. Defense has been requested. Gonna have to swap every player yet again. There should be a faster way of doing this, but... Spectate... Oh, shit, hold up. Swap to spectator. Hold up. Spectate.
You have information, Adam.
I heard a GG. Oi! Yo! Alex Style with the 10 gifted. Oh, thank you so much. What an outstanding game so far. Sorry. I'm doing a lot. Hold up. Sorry.
Yeah, and
Alex, since you played Lucky... Alex.
I'll give proper adulations as my co-host here continues to do production. Once again, thank you to everybody for watching. Whether or not you're watching live or you're watching on YouTube right now at twitch.tv/airculver or youtube.com/@airculver, it is incredibly helpful for you to be supporting this channel, supporting the University of Hartford, as we see them performing incredibly well in this grand finals. Heading over into our next map, the 1CP or control map did go to the side of University of Hartford at 2-1. And now we are going to be heading into the hybrid, which is going to be King's Row. Now, I'm very much interested to see whether or not the seemingly more individualistic playstyle of Toronto is able to match against the a little bit more hive mind-esque countering their tank style out of the University of Hartford. They spent quite a lot of time discussing how to defeat this Hog, how to put them down and out, so that they have no ability to affect the University of Hartford's game plan, which is ultimate victory no matter the cost. It's going to be incredibly interesting to see whether or not Nashir opts to go Hog here, or Orisa, or even a spicy little Reinhardt.
Now, we've got a... I like this decision by the side of Hartford. They have Super Vader start on the Orisa. The biggest thing that means for Hartford is that if what they want to do typically is start on the Winston. That's what they practice, that's what they run. But if Super Vader is playing the Winston and Nashir recognizes that when they walk out of spawn, they can simply walk back to spawn, swap to Roadhog, and then push with a dominant threat.
Yeah, and that is the offensive advantage we see out of here, especially also with the Widow here, as Emil is going to sit up top, noticing that they have the Orisa. The Calm can definitely come out. They see the Sojourn as well, but it seems to be
a
a swap on the side of Nashir. over to the Orisa, as Zenith already finds one, Become Based going down to the Conch Mine, and that's going to be a Junkrat. A very interesting choice, not typically associated with this map, as Emil is still on the Widow, by the way.
Oh,
And everybody is low right now.
Oh, I would not be pushing forward if I were Super Vader. Now, the call comes out, Super Vader, Orimaru, Become Based, simply run away, let their teammates get the respawn. Hopefully, yep, Blackout and the rest of the gang got the closer respawn location. This is dangerous. Playing with fire, Orimaru, finds a headshot, but yeah.
Ooh, and Emil finds one right back, as, yep, that's the danger in peeking that right there. Not respecting the Widow on the enemy team, as Nift is doing something similar, going down as well. And when we look at the comps right now, we have a more meta, relatively understandable comp on the side of University of Hartford, but Toronto is going wacky and wild with it. Zenith playing Junkrat, a very strong character to be sure, not seeing a lot of cooperative and competitive time, but seeing quite a lot of ranked ladder time. Emil sticking on this Widow and holding a great angle right now. Hopefully Orisa saw him, able to call out the danger of walking across this line, as 2 already brought to half with swift body shots. But Emil playing really aggressively on this Widow right here.
And I don't like how Hartford is playing right into these Widowmaker sightlines. This is so dangerous. Oh, and Z Zenith comes out of nowhere, finds one with the combo. Become Base though, swaps over to the Tracer just to harass this Widowmaker, and he finds her. This is a free kill just to start the fight off. Or, sorry, balance the fight off. Oh! Great flick by Nift.
Right.
Finds the Zenith. The Kitsune Rush comes out. Nift gets hit by the Javelin, and both teams brought extremely low. Still might be winnable for the side of Hartford.
As Terra Surge is online, as he brings them all together. That's a Pulse as well. Incredibly well timed. It doesn't go off because of the Suzu, but that's going to be a great follow-up kill from Super Vader. That was an incredible little micro play there.
Riptire coming in.
Become Based and Super Vader.
Finds 2, almost finds 3. This might just be the end of their hold. But, well, who knows? Nift has the overclock, finds the Widowmaker, but he's low. Junk is low on the other side, though. This is so chaotic. I can't understand what's going on.
Yeah, there's so much information going across the screen right now. We've had 3 fights in the time of 1, as Beat does come out on the side of University of Hartford. They're saying not today, sir, as more ultimates are coming out. The Kiriko Gate, as well as the Beat on the other side of University of Toronto, and nobody has died.
Blackout finds
one though.
That might be enough to, you know, kind of force them away. At least
Just
for
get
a couple seconds. We see the Invader only 6% away from his own ultimate. Oh, finds a great body shot. Thinks about pushing. Keeps an eye on the Junkrat, though. Doesn't want to get too aggressive. And now ultimates coming online. We see...
Incredibly aggressive as Emil goes down immediately. The Kiriko not able to TP in time there. Nift being properly aggressive as they bring him into this alley. A great place to quarter them off. However, the Kiriko Gate does come through, pushing them back. And the Junkrat is in the back line. An incredibly terrible fight.
But Nift takes him out!
Nift deals with it.
The Invader finds the kill onto Super Vader. Terra Surge online for Nashir and goes for it.
Terra Surge.
Oh, Orimaru. Oh, Orimaru still gets taken out. Oh, but Nift over here on the Sojourn pulls out the overclock, tries to make it work, but he gets pushed into the corner. And
a little wacky and wild, but I swear that Kiriko is one.
She was. Oh no! I wish I didn't see that.
And the nerves obviously getting to the University of Hartford here, as they are playing incredibly well, but they are doing it strappy and incredibly off the cuff, as the University of Toronto does get the 2nd point cap with 3 minutes and 38 seconds left on the board. It's definitely still holdable.
Interesting swap to point out. Roast Chicken opts to go over to this Ana. I'm really curious to see how this works, but Become Based over on the Hanzo falls to the Sojourn.
Yeah, that's also an interesting swap. However, definitely a comfort pick on the side of Become Based. Nashir is able to find another spear kill onto Nift here. The Terra Surge is available, and looks like that's what's going on. As he tries to pull in that Ana, the Ana isn't able to be pulled in as well. But that Kiriko falls back into the Terra Surge.
Now Junkrat brought 1 HP. Junkrat brought 1 HP. Blackout finds a kill onto Emil in the backline. Trap gets taken out. Might be careful of a spear into the pit, but I hope we don't see one today.
Hopefully not, as both of these Orissas seem to be very good. As long as they can continue to position themselves well enough, they should not fear no pit nor any man, as the tanks on both sides are doing an incredible job, but the ult advantage currently towards the side of University of Hartford.
Great shot! What is this Junkrat Tire doing? Oh, but he trades for himself too! Nift, ready for the Rat Tire, finds the railgun straight into it, and now, thanks to Become Based, Hartford is up a player coming into this next fight.
Hey, didn't Hartford have beat?
Hartford
had beat, right?
I'm gonna say he beat it to cancel the Rip Tire.
Yeah, let's say that. As the Terra Surge with the Nano comes out, doing an extra damage amount, but Super Vader is able to find one and Become Base finds another headshot onto the sniper on the side of University of Toronto, and that's why this is a comfort pick. The Hanzo just making sense. Simple geometry to this Become Base. A dragon is available. Surely it will be wasted and never comboed with any other ability whatsoever.
All right, hear me out.
To do.
They combo Orissa's pull or Terra Surge with the dragon.
That would be a great idea, huh?
That'd be a great idea. What do you think we see?
Are we gonna see it?
Oh, Spear almost finds himself in the pit, but just, you know, keeping himself a little cognizant of it.
The pit does not beckon today. As once again, Toronto getting rather
I'm
aggressive.
and
Genji
going
here. Up on that Kiriko. Using the Susu rather early as that Orisa is very low. The Super Surge. Everyone's out of range, and Super Vader goes down after the fact. That Ana anti-ability going incredibly hard against their tank, but Nif is able to find one. Still alive. Stalling out Cart, and then does go down as University of Hartford has a full team reset there.
And a lot of ults came out on the side of Hartford too. They used the Terra Surge, they used the Dragon Strike, and the Overclock. Now, all that's left are the support ults versus the Terra Surge from Nashir. Although they're also close to DPS ults, but Become Base just finds one for free. How does he do this? Kitsune Rush used to just push these away. Simple geometry is what they say. Oh,
that's gonna be a huge
sound barrier. Great sound barrier from Blackout. Keeps his team alive. And now Z Zenith has the blade. Looking to get booped out, but might be the end, and it looks like they're going to cap it. That was a little unfortunate ending for the side of Hartford. Not the cleanest.
No, you would definitely hope for a full hold there, but within 20 seconds, I think that's incredibly strong for the University of Hartford team here. Definitely having a lot of opportunity, as Kings Row is definitely the map that they have scrimmaged and played in general the most. Not only having nearly 100% pick rate towards the first half of this season for their NACE matches, but also being, I think, a mainstay of pretty much every single scrimmage that they've had since Overwatch 2 has come out. So this University of Hartford team, very accustomed to it. You see some comfort picks coming out from, well, I was going to say from Nift, but, you know, Sojourn is just Sojourn. But definitely on the Hanzo when it comes to Become Base. Like we were saying, it's a little nonsensical how well the Hanzo within Become Base's hands is, but it is high functioning and very, very good. So we could even see it on attack here, even though for now, Become Base is currently sitting on the Reaper.
Now this is an interesting composition. Currently being shown by the side of Toronto. We see a Torbjorn from Z Zenith and Roast Chicken locking the Zenyatta.
That is very interesting. Definitely good options in general. The Zenyatta being able to potentially out-damage at range a Widow, but most likely using that Discord to be able to make that Orissa's life absolute hell. The Torb is the thing that I have the biggest question mark about.
What would your thoughts be on Super Vader recognizing this and swapping over to a Winston? Yeah.
I think that would be an incredibly insightful, very highbrow play. I would hope to see it. But I do think we're going to see at least 1 to 2, maybe even 3 fights on this Orisa before that decision is made. Most likely by somebody that isn't Super Vader.
Honestly, though, I think Nift gets taken out early by the Torbjorn. As I was saying, wow, okay, Emil finds the headshot. And is that going to happen? Yeah, Super Vader immediately swaps over to this Winston.
Absolutely, and that was a necessary call right there. I mean, you just understand that the matchup between a Torbjorn just has good lanes, and those good lanes are incredibly difficult to deal with when you're a brawl team. You got to move in a straight line to be able to get to people, and that's exactly where Torbjorn is shooting. being a little bit more circumspect, like we see right now. An incredible presence in the back line, immediately bringing two incredibly low, but Emil managed to find a pick onto Blackout, but they're low enough for Blackout. Oh, for Super Vader to go in, but he doesn't find anything, as Emil finds another Zenith putting down the monkey, as University of Hartford's going to have to back out. That was well planned, but sadly not executed well enough, as a couple picks on the side of University of Toronto's Sojourn make that push impossible to complete.
The DPS on the side of Toronto are just popping off during this defensive match. And honestly, during the attack too, they performed really well on the Widowmaker, and just cracked the first point and second point even right open.
Absolutely, and with a hold like this, it's going to be a very, very uphill battle for the University of Hartford. They do have a charge rail that they do waste, but that's going to be Emil reflecting it, essentially, right back into the face of Nift. And yeah, that's going to be another aggressive posture on the side of the Orisa, opening it up for the Invader to get a hill. Other kills are definitely likely to come after the fact, as Super Vader looking like he was thinking about swapping, but instead sticking with this Winston. I do think it is the right play right now, but the University of Hartford taking their sweet time getting through this choke and getting into a kill box that's viable for them.
I think what they really might need to start considering more is swapping off to the Reaper, because this Hanzo is struggling.
Absolutely, that Hanzo ultimate finding absolutely nothing. Nift manages to find one, and they are going to invest the Kiriko gate as two go down, and the University of Hartford unable to take down a turret, but that's also going to be an overclock on the side of Amiel, and University of Hartford once again gaining no purchase on this point, not even a tick.
He's looks like he's swapping finally to the Reaper, which I've been thinking for like the last 2 or 3 fights. The Hanzo is just not fitting with the composition of the Winston, and as long as Nift gets healed up, there we go. I think they're in good position. Biggest threat is going to be the ultimate disadvantage, but Nift finally comes alive, finds the headshot onto Emil, body shot onto the Kiriko too, just to really keep them distance. The slow field.
Oh, but an
big
incredible
ultimates coming out. Blackout holds the beat until the very last second, finds incredible value with it. Lucio brought extremely low, not able to be taken out. They're putting too much focus into trying to kill this Orisa, as the rest of the team is just surviving. Super Vader, though,
that's the first pick
finds
they
one.
find.
And
University of Hartford playing rather sloppy, but Super Vader is able to find a second one in this fight. As perilous as it is, University of Hartford splitting like the Red Sea, absolutely going every which direction possible. Finally gaining a little bit more purchase and actually being able to group up. And this microplay might be everything, but Zenith manages to find Become Base as he goes into the hotel for some reason. That's going to be another gate. Definitely needing to get out of this Terra Surge as the Torbjorn is in the back line. That needs to be the main focus right now as he goes for a hammer kill. Interesting, as University of Hartford not able to even cap this first point, and University of Toronto takes it, evening it up. Team Hortons 1-1 against Team Smurfs, i.e. University of Toronto 1 to the University of Hartford Red 1.
I think the University of Hartford simply was just like kind of discombobulated during that entire game. They got hit by some wonky comp at the start with the Orisa and the Widowmaker, and then they made a couple swaps to try to handle it better, and the swaps worked. They swapped over I know they swapped to the Hanzo. They made a different change too, I thought. Maybe not. But then on the attack, they came out on the Winston. They came out on the Hanzo. No, they started the Orisa and then swapped to the Winston while kept on the Hanzo. And the just lack of synergy between the variety of playstyles that they were trying to run simultaneously really held them back during that last fight.
Absolutely, and I think that the main thing that I was thinking about to talk to about the state of mind of the University of Hartford team here was definitely the Tracer pick. The Tracer pick was incredibly interesting, just trying to grasp at straws and figure out what will work in this situation to try and shut down this Widow that's giving us a hectic time. And not only that, but the Torbjorn, as well as the Junkrat. For a long time, the University of Hartford struggled with these off-meta, non-kosher picks that they were really not expecting from the get-go. Though they did expect some walkie stuff overall, the University of Hartford didn't have the wherewithal to learn how to play around those things. Because at the end of the day, it's not just a counter pick meta in which every single character has a counter pick option to just do better against another character. Mostly that's resided within the tanks. But right now, the University of Hartford is not knowing how to, in general, play against a chaotic playstyle. Not even chaotic, just something that they're not used to. As University of Hartford does tie it up, giving over a map to the University of Toronto. Still very much in it, however, as we all are, most likely in for an absolute banger, as we will be heading into our first escort map, which looks to be Circuit Royale.
I don't know how I feel about this pick. We got the R's coming out.
Yeah, it does come out from the side of University of Hartford. I'm wondering what their mental thought process is when it comes to this map out of all the other escort maps, especially with their prevalence and capacity to run a dive. Why wouldn't a Dorado or a Route 66 fare as well, if not better, than the more spam and even at times brawl helpful map of Circuit Royale? It's definitely an interesting, potentially ego pick. Especially if we do see something like a NIFT going to... if we do see a NIFT going to a Widow or something like that. Though it could work incredibly well, is the entirety of the team going to flourish on this map, as opposed to specific individuals who may be prolific snipers or flankers or other characters that the rest of the team might not be used to playing with?
Yeah, I will say, as I started to say, got a little distracted by hosting issues. I don't know how I feel about Hartford choosing Circuit Royale. It really comes down to oh, I forgot the hit. Or did I?
I think you did.
Okay.
Activated the match easy to make an invite. I understand the shot. Don't worry.
It plays for the DPS a lot more. It also moves Blackout onto the Zenyatta, which I know in the past used to be more of a comfort pick. Although in the last couple weeks or months he's kind of only been playing the Lucio. So again, as I started to say, it really plays for the DPS of the Hanzo and Become Based and the Widowmaker of NIFT. So I'm looking forward to see how that plays out with the DPS match against Z Zenith and Emil. We see Z Zenith locking the Genji to start.
Locking the Genji and then immediately getting body shot by a grapple shot. Well executed by NIFT, not a headshot sadly, but we do see Emil on the Widow, so we are going to see a classic Widow duel. But with that Genji in the way, that might distract the Widow enough. Hopefully the Hanzo's able to deal with it, or maybe even the Sigma, just so that the Widows can duel fairly and equally, as Emil does find one. As, yeah, the University of Hartford crumpling rather quickly. The snipes coming out, and this combination between Zenith and Emil is incredible. The pressure you see from this Genji by himself is necessary, especially when Emil is pumping not only damage, but getting these body shots and headshot kills.
No,
That was
staggering
fast and
himself
decisive. Yeah, and that's a fast and decisive victory for the University of Toronto. And Orimoru informed last about their victory.
Now, this is kind of what I was getting worried about when I saw them pick this map, is that I think it might play into a bit more of the comfort picks for the side of Toronto.
Absolutely.
NIFT, while he is a good Widow and he gets a great shot there, I think just putting him on the Sojourn gives him more, just like, puts him in a more comfortable position.
Absolutely. The range of Sojourn's abilities definitely supersedes that of Widow. And with Widow, largely the biggest asset you have is the rest of your team. And not to say that the team matchup isn't the best opportunity, but with Sojourn you can ally yourself with the team, whereas instead you have to rely on the rest of the team when playing Widow, as yeah, they're gonna have to capitalize on this Anna pick. What are they gonna do to capitalize on it? They have it, but are they taking space? As University of Hartford grinds nearly to a halt. Oh, an incredible rock, however. Super Vader managing to cancel that flux. Blackout and Nift together being able to take out Nashir. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is a team playing together. This is a team working around their snipers to actually put on the best possible spam performance. And can we take a look at that? Interesting. Roast chicken. Relaxing. Incubating, some might even say.
Oh,
Unseeable until now. And I think the entirety of the University of Hartford team realizing he must have been there the entire time. Hopefully being able to still laugh at themselves a little bit. That Zen incredibly low right now. But this is still an unironic Doom pick in 2022. This Widow over by themselves, easily taken out by it. Slightly upsetting for every Widow player in the entire world. This should not inform your Doom pick rate when it comes to ranked. Please, good God. But they do manage to find 3 off the back of this Nano Blade. The Flux does come up, and that Genji's going to be caught incredibly low, but not be able to be finished. Super Vader just having to seed this space. Throws a parting rock for Nashir, but with the Doomfist swap, this does become a lot more amicable for the University of Hartford, but not with a pick like that.
I'll be honest, I want Hartford to swap back to the Winston comp. I know
I think I do too.
They don't run it as often on this map, but I think it'll work better for them. I think they just run it and, you know, force them into that, oh, Nift is definitely going down here. Finds a headshot, which is nice, but not going to do anything against a 450 health Doom.
Yeah, at this point, I would be screaming from high heaven for them to swap off onto the Winston meta instead, or just the Winston composition. I don't think that we're getting the purchase right now that we need out of the Sigma, nor do I think that the Widow is going to be doing as good of a job defensively against a Doomfist and a Genji that's playing at the top of their game right now. The Doomfist does go down, but that's simply the design of Doomfist himself, as Nift manages to find another kill onto Emil, but Zenith just following up and just replacing the tank. That's all he needs to do, is this Genji is just popping incredulously.
This Genji is just all over Nift, and they haven't made a single swap to try to deal with this at all. And as a spectator and a fan of Hartford, it's a little, I don't know, annoying, upsetting. Nift pushes out. Okay, Transcendence there to help keep him alive. Orimuro,
A lot of last-second action happening.
Orimuro still holding onto this window. Pops it straight down on the center of the objective. Nift finds one, trying to shoot through the window. Nashir on the Doom, just sticking behind the point. Almost
no shot.
Forces a Doom 9, but maybe he still goes for it. Super Vader just trying to stall for as long as he can. Doomfist brought low. Gets the Nano, though, and he's just vibing.
As the University of Hartford scrambles to be able to touch the point, Tracer taking a full
and
punch
they
to the face, as with
C9.
3 around, they do C9. Yeah, this University of Hartford team looks absolutely frazzled right now. Distraught right now. And I do think that it came from, as we do see a Nift stop playing Overwatch moment, might just be a offline situation, but we are also seeing the University of Hartford, I think, make a critical original mistake. I genuinely believe that. I think that going to this map initially was a bad plan from the start. This map does not lend itself well to anything but classical double sniper compositions or long-range spam compositions. One that Nashir and the rest of this Toronto team have seemed very good at not only dealing with on this map, but very good at playing itself. So they get to do both. Not only in Amiel playing a very solid Widow, but the combination between Nashir and Zenith, or Zenith and Amiel, is godly. Genuinely, this is some of the strongest Genji performance that I think I've seen, and especially due to the fact that this is outside of a Genji meta. This is outside of our prototypical only play Genji when he's hyper viable. Instead, he has less damage, less amount of ammo in his gun, and yet he's still doing a good job because his rotations, his ebb and flow throughout this game has been perfectly keyed and timed to the ballet symphony that Nashir is putting on any character. So the University of Toronto doing a fantastic job, and the University of Hartford potentially making some key strategic deficits when it came to coming to Circle Royale in the first place.
I want to see how this plays out. We know Become Based. He has a fantastic Genji. Hasn't gotten to use it post-nerf too much. As we know, the damage was reduced, and the ammo count was greatly reduced as well, from 30 down to 24 shurikens. But again, he still has a fantastic Genji, and the Widowmaker finds one, almost finds a second, just being a constant threat. Oh, Genji brought dangerously low for himself with Nift, almost finds the pick there, but I think the Super Vader follow-up was enough. Again, the two of them working together to find those final blows. And I believe it's just a Genji and a Sigma alive. Widowmaker now back. Super Vader out in dangerous waters. Genji still low, but doesn't get taken out. Oh, until just now, where Super Vader finds the kill, and Sigma and Widowmaker, and both supports actually, are now here trying to set up for a defense for this final fight in a 4v5 situation. But Nift, coming alive on this attack, brings the Zenyatta to 1 HP again. And they're just still finding these kills, which is looking fantastic for Hartford. They are coming alive during the attack.
Even so, as they do come alive, I do want to highlight some of the reasons as to why that's happening, and that is genuinely because of the pressure that Super Vader is able to put on alongside of the Genji. Nift is doing a fantastic job finding these key picks, more than I believe that Amiel was able to find during these fights when they were attacking. But the Genji pressure that we see from Become Base as opposed to Zenith, very, very different. Much more kill confirming than anything else than the pressure that we saw on the side of Zenith.
Oh, Nift with a critical grapple shot finds the head of the Moira before the fight even breaks out. Fantastic work. And now Become Based finds the kill onto the enemy Widow. Genji does fall directly after. Blackout.
No shot. No.
Blackout
No.
held onto the Transcendence, and now Nift falls to that. They're going to be even here. No DPS alive for the side of Hartford, and I'd go for this Yeah, there we go. Flux comes out, only finds the Zenyatta, I believe, but Become Based finds a kill onto the enemy Moira yet again, as Orimuru falls to the enemy Sigma. And Emil we see swap over to, we see a Sojourn and a Sombra swap for the side of University of Toronto.
Oh, as the card actually gets no progress, even though the University of Hartford seemingly being able to actually win that fight. The Sombra going in for a little bit of damage, then backing up, trying to just build up that ultimate. This is definitely an interesting character swap here. The Sojourn, incredibly strong just in the meta in general, as Nift also follows suit. But the Sombra, definitely an interesting play. I wonder who their target is going to be. It seems like based off the pings here, it's going to be Sojourn 100%. Regardless of how or why, this is incredibly important. As the hack comes out immediately, a little bit of damage. Sombra brought low, but Emil is able to find it and finish off that kill. The Genji going up and getting hacked, but is able to get out with the help of his supports. Blackout able to find Emil, however, evening up the fight perfectly.
They have the Nanoblade online. Might be thinking about using it right now. Doesn't know if he has the Ana in his line of sight. As the Zenith just takes Orimuru out, who's all by himself out here. And now...
That was such a big disconnect.
I'm seeing a lot of simple communicational just disconnects, as you said. Ana playing by herself against the Sombra, just easy kills for the Sombra. And now Orimuru, again, stranding wide. Sombra just looking to come onto this Zenyatta as he isolates himself. Brought to 1 HP. He would have died if Z-Zenith landed just one extra shot here. And now, again, Z-Zenith. Oh, Orimuru falls. And he gets taken out before the nano could be applied. Because Orimuru fell, and again, just a bit of a disconnect. Nift on this Sojourn, just making it work. We see the Hanzo swap back from Become Based. And
there we see the trans.
I kind of like this. I think this might be winnable. Overclock is almost online for Nift. And they find two with it. Nano comes out, and now Overclock is going to be ready. Oh, great finish by Nift. And Hartford get the ball rolling yet again. Looking for a final finishing kill onto this Sojourn here, and they do. And it probably is going to be the end of point 2 here.
The University of Hartford does manage to find it. Sorry, some Discord randomness. Apologies about that. However, University of Hartford technically up 1. Zenith going down. The Flux does come out. However, not being able to find anybody. They find another, and University of Hartford in a very good position here. But an overclock does come out on the side of Amiel, finding a headshot immediately. Only one alive. Finds another, however, but is finally put down by Super Vader. Overclock for overclock. Nif popping it maybe at a better time, and Amiel potentially wasting that one. But a very good fight overall for the University of Hartford, finally able to summit this mountain that is Circuit Royale's second point. It's like storming the beaches of Normandy, trying to get through it, and they have reached a better position, as the University of Hartford has shown that they are pretty good at finishing off fights here. Hopefully they're able to do it again, as this one is for all the marbles.
No, we see Nashir back on the Doomfist. The Sombra EMP comes out and just immediately hits the backline. But Super Vader finds a couple big shots onto the Sombra. Emil does take out the enemy Sojourn of Nift, but 3v4 situation, both supports and the tank alive, so they're able to keep pushing this space. And I like the way they're playing this. My biggest concern being just the lack of damage if the respawns come up, which looks like we're back in a 5v5 situation as Super Vader finds one, finds the Flux into the backline. Is that going to be enough? And Become Based finds the kill onto the Invader of Ana. Great sleep dart coming out by Orimuru. Fantastic work. Now Become Based coming alive on the Hanzo, just finding all of the free kills. And Nashir close to an ultimate of his own. Looks like it's going to be a Doomfist Meteor Strike and a Zenyatta Transcendence versus a Dragon Strike and both support ults for Hartford. Transcendence and Doomfist ult both come out right at the beginning, just trying to keep their Doomfist alive as Super Vader falls, and both support outs come out for Hartford, trying to just win this fight here and now. Dragon doesn't find anything. Trance, very little value as well. Not sure where the nano got put onto. And, oh, and Hartford all crumbles right there.
That was a huge, incredibly expensive fight for both teams, but the University of Hartford not getting any of the things that they needed out of those ultimates, those key ultimates from Transcendence all the way to Flux there. Just not able to put everything into it as they could. A swap over to Sombra, though.
Not typically known as one of Become Based's like strong picks, but Nift, known for the Sojourn, finds the headshot onto Roast Chicken. Now coming on this flank of the off angle, just trying to force out their supports into the open. Super Vader incredibly close to the ultimate here. Brought down to half health though, and just trying to make some magic happen. Trying to put down his Doomfist. Has the rock online. Oh, but Doomfist dodges it, and the Brig is back, and the enemy Sojourn takes out two. And just like that, the University of Toronto go up 2-1 in this best of 5 series.
Absolutely, and though tragic, the University of Hartford is still putting up a good defense here, managing to take a map off of this University of Toronto team, however, ceding this one and going down 1-2 in this best of 5. Super Vader getting the play of the game here. Rather impressive Sigma play overall, I will say. But overall, this map pick, definitely an interesting one for what we know University of Hartford for being most prevalent at, for what they are best at, which is going to be dive-centric and more brawl-centric metas. This map definitely didn't lend itself to that, but we do have another opportunity here as we will be heading into Push, a game type that kind of lends itself incredibly well to the general play styles that University of Hartford is better known for. So, University of Hartford gonna have to pull it out here just to equalize so they can give themselves that map 5 opportunity, but these are dire straits for this UHart team. Making it further than they ever have before, this is a great opportunity for them to bring it back and provide a little bit more credibility to this, burgeoning and very new and young roster.
A 5-minute bio break has been called by Lucky, manager of the University of Hartford. So I expect they're just going to try to take this time, get their heads straight. After dropping 2 in a row to this University of Toronto team, it couldn't be a bit of a mental boom, but, I don't think their mentals are in ruins after just a map or 2 loss.
No, I definitely don't think, and I think that this 5-minute bio is one that's just necessary for the human body. At the end of the day, taking a break every once in a while, especially from intense video games like this, is very important for not only your mental but your physical health. So remember, if you're playing at home, whether or not you're watching on stream right now, or if you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much for the support. This is a small production team, but we would like to remind you that it's important to carve out time for not only your mental but your physical health, especially when you're playing video games for long hours. Though they can be fun, paramount that you keep a healthy body. You want to be able to play those video games for as long as possible, and everybody would like to live long enough to see whether it not be Elden Scrolls 6 or Elder Scrolls 6, or GTA 6, or maybe even a Portal 3. It's never gonna happen, but I would like it. But once again, thank you everybody for watching, following. Any type of support is very much appreciated, whether it be a shout out, a donation, a gift sub, or even just Prime Sub Arena, which is free. If you link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, you get 1 free sub to your favorite streamer. Aha. Twitch.tv air culver. Every single month, and it takes money out of Just Basil's pocket. So why don't you run it up?
You wanna hit your cam on real quick? For this
yeah, sure.
intermission.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where your camera went. Oh, I disabled it.
Yeah, hello. So, how are we feeling after these? Can I drag this? Maybe I can stop sharing screen. That'll work. How are we feeling right now? Where do you think Hartford's going to recognize what they need to change, and how are they going to improve upon how these first 2 games have gone?
Now, from my understanding of the University of Hartford team, they do have pretty good adaptive responses. However, during the game so far, hasn't seemed like they've been able to respond to play styles very well, or overarching meta decisions in the enemy team. I do hope that the one key thing that they analyze and recognize is the strength of not only Nashir, but also the weakness in their backline. The University of Toronto team, though a very good team, I mean, they've made it all the way this far, they do have a weaker backline, similar to the University of Hartford team, but the University of Hartford team isn't capitalizing as much as the front line of the University of Toronto team. So if they are to analyze anything, I would hope that they do notice the weaknesses of the University of Toronto team, and hopefully the solution to getting those kills, those influential kills, which is going to be their backline. And not just, resting on the laurels that is NIFT_OW_FPS. Potentially not being able to get a kill every single fight. He is human at the end of the day. Though a Greek god sculpted by many, many fine Parisian sculptors, at the end of the day, your good looks and incredible body frame and low body fat and, attractive personality and incredibly good skills that NIFT all has, at the end of the day, it'll translate directly into Overwatch skill and the ability to get a pick every fight.
Now, just trying to keep on track of everything all at once. Yeah, I think one of the biggest strengths that I know the University of Hartford has, after watching them and working with them for the last few months, they know their 5-man roster doesn't consist of the 5 most mechanically gifted players in the league. They know that. That's something they recognized right at the start of the season. They said to themselves, the way we win this game is and the way we win the league this year is by being the best team in the league. Not the best players, the best team. That's why we've seen in the past they've found so much success when they play compositions that work well together, such as the way this Winston comp with the Winston, Reaper, Kiriko, Lucio, Sojourn. It works as a unit where you kill, isolate and kill enemy players that are either out of position, wasted their cooldowns, exposed in one way or another. And I would love to see them go back and opt into that playstyle when at all possible. And I think while it may not have been the easiest to do on Circuit Royale, I think it would have worked wonders for them. And when we see Nashir pull out these more unique tank picks, like we see him swap over the Doomfist, if we see that happen, I think we just are okay with that, and we lock the Doomfist, and I think not lock the Doomfist, lock the Orisa, and stick with the Reaper and just blow up the Doomfist whenever he engages. Esperança has been called.
I definitely would love to see a stronger tank presence on the side of the University of Hartford when it comes to confidence. A lot of space is being given, but not a lot of space is being taken. And the University of Hartford, though that taking of space might be dangerous, it is a risk assessment that they need to not only make, but it's one they need to take as well. though they might be afraid of it and there might be small moments of weakness, they need to stop doubting themselves and have the confidence to play the way that they know that they can play. And that's aggressively, that is taking space, and that is allowing no quarter on their side as well, something that they are also continuing to do. So overall, the University of Hartford might be a little bit frazzled right now, but I know that they're able to come back, and hopefully they are able to. Those 5 minutes should be going to good use, as the Esperança call is made by the University of Hartford. And yeah, seems like some people are still getting back, but
Pressed wrong
we
button.
will be getting we'll be getting everything started and going here as we head into our 4th map, potentially the last, potentially the end of the road here for both teams, as University of Toronto is up 2-1 to the University of Hartford in this NACE Grand Finals match. So incredibly exciting things to see right here. Potentially a last match for this UHart team. Hopefully they're able to bring it to 5. The hype would be immeasurable.
I can see Hartford pulling this map off. I know, I like expecting right at the start. I'm expecting Nashir to be playing, probably the Roadhog, and I think Super Vader might come out on the Winston. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it. But I definitely expect either the Winston or the Orisa coming out from Super Vader. The best part,
And they both have their separate viabilities when it comes to push. And I think that the Hog is definitely much more suited to a first fight victory. But if the expectation is there on the side of University of Hartford and they're able to play around the center point well, the center point lends itself to literally every single style of play, mostly just simply dependent on whether or not you get it right.
yeah,
You play your composition and your style the way that you want to. Something the University of Hartford team hasn't been doing properly all game, but there's a hope. And definitely they have the opportunity to do so here. So we see some interesting, potentially other picks on the side of Team Hortons here. The Canadian favorites, University of Toronto. However, it is going to be a hog swap back.
he's
As, yeah,
little late.
University of Hartford does start off on Monkey.
And this could be dangerous. Could be dangerous waters here. We see the Winston obviously coming out versus the Roadhog. Roadhog with the shotgun, with the hook, can be a dangerous threat to the Winston. Hartford, though, gets a bit of a space advantage to start this game off. We see the Tracer coming off in place of the Reaper. Become base, hoping just to, pressure the backline more and put a little less focus into the... Oh, great kill coming out by Super Vader. Takes out Zenith, but he gets hooked in. Oh, and I'm getting jebaited in the middle of this game. I'm sorry, everyone. Anyways.
Just to bring it back here, the University of Hartford does sadly go down. They do have 2 picked on their side as only their supports and their NIF remains, and they're just going to have to get out. And that hog hook was everything. That Winston and that Tracer honestly not playing in positions that are most beneficial for them. They should be playing on that right side when they enter that little center area, trying to take high ground and not allowing them to just kind of sit up there for free. The University of Toronto staggering and playing tepid for the first time this entire match. It would have been a great opportunity to capitalize for the University of Hartford, but as they have this hog and as they have the range, they should be focusing on NIF potentially getting headshots, as Emil is brought incredibly low on that high ground. Overclock does come out.
Only target he has in front of him really is that Roadhog. Manages to slide out of the way of the hook. Super Vader gets a kill onto the Roadhog. Z-Zenith takes out the Ursa. Nift takes out Z-Zenith. Nift takes out Roast Chicken too. And now it's just going to be last 2 players alive. It's going to be Emil and the Invader of the Sojourn Kiriko duo, as Hartford looks to push this 4v2 advantage. But respawns are coming back. Become based a fantastic stagger onto Emil. And this might mean a lot of great space being able to be taken. Super Vader now back on the Orisa. They need to be careful of this high ground flank coming out. All 5, oh no, never mind. All 4 people come up just to try and force this high ground. Super Vader here as well, just holding the space, keeping them at bay. And Reaper brought to 1 HP. Anybody able to find him? Become Based is there for the kill. Nift brought extremely low. Kitsune Rush used by the Invader. I might be expecting a Kitsune Rush by Orimuru as well, but he might have been picked, might have just been running away. But Base finds 2 before the sound barrier could come out by Roast Chicken. Doesn't get any of the purchase he was really looking for, maybe just to keep himself alive. And now Roast Chicken does fall, and it's just a Roadhog, perhaps a Roadhog Reaper alive for the side of Hartford as they take the objective and look to get the checkpoint as well.
Sorry, and a quick production thing. Could you turn off your camera in Discord? I am watching a slideshow right now. It is a very captivating slideshow, however, as it does seem like the University of Hartford is going to be able to get this forward spawn activated, but they do lose somebody in the process. Emil popping that overclock on the back line, and the University of Hartford having to rotate a complete flip here, putting their back towards the enemy, and that's where they're coming from in every which direction. And there's also going to be overall swaps that I might have missed. Super Vader onto the Orisa now, as well as Nashir onto the Orisa, and it's going to be a complete mirror matchup, barring one character. It's going to be Roast Chicken on the Xana.
Roast Chicken just swapped to the Ana in the last fight. I'm curious to see how this works out. Oh, Base gets very aggressive, runs straight into them. Big Death Blossom finds Base before he could get the kill onto the enemy Orisa. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Nift.
It's okay, as Nift is able to pull up with another headshot. However, Orimuru does go down, and this puts them in a worse position as Emil still sitting on that high ground. Super Vader finally going down. And I don't fully understand the reason as to why we swapped from the Hog to the Orisa here, especially once the Orisa does come back out on the side of Nashir. Would be a good idea for them to potentially swap, but they do have the Terror Surge online right now, so Super Vader is probably going to opt to use it. And the advantage in ultimates definitely on the side of University of Hartford, but when it comes to this spacing, that robot's taking a quick advantage that is going to be harder to pay back when it comes to this University of Hartford's repush.
Oh, Reaper in the back line trying to pressure out whoever they can, but did the Kiriko teleport into? Kiriko now
the Kiriko
right
did.
next to them, but everything is getting discombobulated. I can't follow what's going on. Orisa pulls out the Terror Surge from both sides, doesn't find any purchase on the side of University of Toronto, as Hartford wins that fight without a single drop. And now we see Z Zenith swapping back over to the Genji, which he found incredible value with in the previous maps of
Absolutely.
this game so far.
The University of Hartford team also on the back foot, not losing too many fights. One fight maximum on this back foot, really keeping this fight, this match overall very close. However, they're going to have to win 2 here straight for them to take back advantage on this cart as the Reaper does come in. Everybody's on low ground, so they don't have high ground advantage. University of Toronto on the back foot. They do have the Blossom activated right now. Are they going to go for a perfect rotation? No, Base going back to the front of the fight, not looking for the Blossom necessarily, but they might be waiting, potentially allowing them into a more perilous position. He does TP up top. This could be huge for the University of Hartford. Not opting to go over to the back line.
Looking for it right now.
He goes
Pulls
for
it,
right now.
drops for it. The Kitsune, Suzu rather, saves both of the supports from death, but it's still a decent situation. Nift now pulling out the overclock. Brings the Orisa down to 1 HP. Finally takes them out. Trying to line up these shots onto the Kiriko. Brought low. Genji gets given a nano. And now he pulls out the blade, finds one, gets instantly speared. Just slash and dash and trying to make something work. Kiriko teleports away. Roast Chicken finds another kill. Orimuru finds one as well. Blackout, the murdering support duo. And now it's
absolutely capitalizing.
And now it's just a Sojourn left alive, as it looks like they're gonna be forced into retreating here.
They should retreat here. As Super Vader and Orimuru deciding to play up a little bit too close. This might be very, very bad for them, but just taking some damage can be healed up. That's A-okay, and it's only a 3v2 in that situation. They do have the 5-man advantage, and this would be the go button time. This would be the absolute go in. Let's finish this right here, right now, as the Terror Surge does come online on the side of Super Vader. Technically still at an advantage, but that Ana does come back fast enough. Here's the Terror Surge. And it doesn't find enough fast enough, as Nashir is able to find 2 in reciprocation. Emil finding another, and then another, as University of Hartford does go down there, losing a back foot fight, as that's going to be very difficult for the University of Hartford to overcome, as we do run down to 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on this Esperança, the University of Hartford's last opportunity and chance, with the advantage currently on the side of University of Toronto.
Hartford Orimaru gets taken out. Emil playing out of his mind, but Nift playing fantastic as well as Zenith taking out another support. Hartford without any healing. Nashir finds a great spear, and now Zenith just looking to finish this last kill onto Nift. Nift manages to get back to safety, and we're coming
this
into
deficit grows.
dangerous waters for Hartford.
Absolutely. This is a problematic position to be put in right now, especially with the strength of this enemy team. Nift going for a Flankadinsky right here, looking for the headshot to be able to start this fight off right. Gets the body, forcing them back a little bit, having to rejoin their team from the back. But Nift going a little bit slow right now, not providing as much damage as he would. However, the risk is incredibly low. The blade does come around in the back line. There's a beat to be able to help protect against it, and Nift is able to find a headshot, and then the melee, and another headshot. Super Vader managed to find one with only one alive. Zenith finds one, but it doesn't matter as University of Hartford is able to push the cart back. 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock.
That was a great fight for the side of Hartford. They managed to completely negate the Nanoblade combo by Roast Chicken and Zenith with just the sound barrier of Blackout, and then Nift with the overclock finds, how many did you say you got? 3? 4?
You got 3. You got 3.
Just fantastic play by the flex DPS-ish player on the side of Hartford.
Yeah, and the University of Hartford infesting these 3 doubloons they got last fight, going incredibly aggressive as Orimaru was able to find one. The cart not technically being pushed right now, but Zenith manages to trade. Oh, and once again, Zenith and Nashir going off right now as
Where's Zenith?
Genji is still alive.
Okay.
Never mind, Nift moment.
And now we have the respawns, but critical error. 2 members of Hartford have the long respawn. They are going to try to push this as far forward as possible, but it's not going to be too much. They send the Lucio back to speed them forward, and actually, they can still take this fight here.
Absolutely, as everyone's back, the Kiriko manages the TP, and this is a 5v5 once again.
I'm surprised they managed to get back in time for this fight. Now, Become Based has the blade online. Last overtime beginning right here, right now. Become Based gets taken out early. Oh, this could be disastrous.
And the Terror Surge comes online, finishing off another.
Hartford going to be ending out this series with 2 of their powerful ultimates left online.
And that's going to be it for this University of Hartford team. Doing better than they ever have in the past, but that is going to be a GG in the grand finals. As sadly, University of Hartford isn't able to usurp this undefeated team, but does manage to provide a mortal blow and give them their first map loss. Something that I feel like the University of Hartford can definitely, hold their heads high about. And this is the incredible play that we saw earlier from Nift, able to reverse this fight instantaneously with 3 easy kills, and then finally finishing off that Genji in the end. But that is a solemn but well-deserved victory. As University of Hartford does lose in this grand final, the University of Toronto did a electric job and are surely celebrating right now. Though the University of Hartford may have not done perfect and did not win at the end, they still did an incredible work all season. Completely undefeated as opposed to an even record last season. Last season finishing off in the first round of the playoffs, and this one finishing off in the last. This has been an incredible improvement for this roster and this team, which is very fresh and very new. But the holdovers from Become Base to Super Vader, holding it down and doing a fantastic job throughout the entirety of the season, and a crazy good playoff berth and run. That was a beautiful job by the University of Hartford overall.